Master Wright, I want to thank you all for sharing in a very important day today. I think the music should start shortly.
Watch that. Oh, they're coming this way. They're coming this way.
Marriage is one of Jehovah's provisions for lasting benefit to the husband and wife, and that is happiness. We see that it's a truly loving thing that we have given them. Although perfect, Adam was not complete. Perfect human Adam needed a helper, a complement to fulfill his commission to subdue the earth and fill it. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, the scriptures read, "And Jehovah God went on to say, it is not good for man to continue by himself. I am going to make a helper for him as a complement of him." And the account continues that God brought the first couple together and married them. So how long was this to last? Well, this provision is to be a permanent union. Genesis chapter 2, verse 24 brings out, "That is why a man will leave his father and his mother, and he must stick to his wife, and they must become one flesh." So since the scriptures show that Jehovah is a God of love, and that he is a happy God, we see that an honorable marriage then would reflect these qualities of happiness and of love. So how can a marriage last in love and in happiness? Well, for a Christian marriage then to last, God must be put first in their life, and his advice followed by both mates. While on earth, God's Son was asked, "Teacher, what is the greatest of the commandments?" And he said to him, "You must love Jehovah your God with your whole heart, with your whole soul, with your whole mind, for this is the greatest and the first commandment. The second, like it, is this: you must love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments, the whole law hangs on the prophets." So, applying these two laws in the marriage arrangement, then we see that it really strengthens the marriage. There are two poles forward as they unite in this mutual supportive role. But love for God can bring this marriage to be even stronger, as if we were a party to that marriage arrangement. At Ecclesiastes 4:12, it brings out that it would be a threefold cord. And a threefold cord then is not easily torn in two. So we can trust God for his advice in this regard, for he knows our physical makeup, he knows our emotional makeup. For Jehovah God designed this, and he also designed the marriage arrangement, so he knows what is best for us in this regard. So then by our studying, praying, worshiping together, we draw close to Jehovah God and we draw close to one another. We see that in his marriage arrangement, he has given different roles to the husband and also to the wife. So for now we're going to begin with the husband and see what his role is in this marriage arrangement. The man was appointed by God to be the loving head of the family. At 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3, we find that the Apostle Paul wrote these words to the congregation at Corinth. He says, I want you to know that the head of every man is the Christ, in turn the head of woman is man, in turn the head of Christ is God. Man has Christ as his head, and it is from God and Christ that the husband then sees how it is he's supposed to fulfill his role as husband. He learns that how that headship is to be exercised. Jehovah's headship over the Christ was exercised in a loving way. We can see this by what Jesus himself said. He said, to do your will, oh my God, I have delighted. So we see it was a loving, kind headship. So husbands then base their headship on sound judgment that is based on the Scriptures, where they can learn to conduct themselves properly in this regard in a kind way. It's a large responsibility for a husband to fulfill. It includes the material support, spiritual support, emotional support, and also the recreational needs of the family. Taking the lead in worship is something that's really overlooked in the world, but as we've discussed so far, we see that's really a vital part in balancing a happy family life. So a husband is to follow Christ's example. For those who would be his disciples, Christ said, I am mild and tempered and lowly in heart, and you will find refreshment for your souls. Those who were members of his congregation are likened to as his bride, and they have indeed found that refreshment under his headship. Jesus willingly gave his life to those in the congregation or bride. So he put them first, he put their needs first above his own. He unselfishly then did this. So a husband is encouraged at Ephesians 5:25 through 29, where it says, husbands, continue loving your wife, just as Christ also loved the congregation and delivered up himself for it. In this way, husbands ought to be loving their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no man ever hated his own flesh, but he feeds and cherishes it, as the Christ also does the congregation. That each one of you individually so love his wife as he does himself. On the other hand, a wife should have deep respect for her husband. So no sane man then hates or mistreats his own body, but he fills its needs. And he does so by being aware of these needs and then looking to them and caring for them as best he can. So now we're going to look at the wife's role in the marriage arrangement. The Bible shows that the wife's role is an honorable role. It's a dignified role. It even calls for the husband, where he's told at 1 Peter 3:7 to assign her. So as a compliment, the wife is not superior, not a slave by any means. Her recognition of the headship principle promotes the success of the marriage arrangement as far as it being happy. Ephesians 5:22 through 24, it states, let wives be in subjection to their husbands as to the Lord, because the husband is head of his wife, as the Christ also is head of the congregation, he being the Savior of this body. In fact, as the congregation is in subjection to the Christ, so let wives also be to their husbands in everything. So we know that this is a relative subjection. It's a divine commandment, and it's for the good of the marriage, bringing happiness. And it truly does when this is applied properly. Without leadership, the result then would be discord, disunity, and ultimately unhappiness. Ephesians 5:33 states that a wife is to have deep respect for her husband. So how does the white show